For the few people in our industry that do not know Norina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Norina Edelman. I am currently the CEO of a group of companies, the IMM Group of companies, International Marine Management, we own several companies, International Marine Management, Dockside Management, which is a yacht agency based in the Caribbean, and FKG, which is a technical company that basically specializes in metal fabrication, rigging, and hydraulics. IMM, of course, is a shipyard brand with both facilities throughout the Caribbean, also specializing in project management.
Good. Yeah, because how long has the group existed now?
So IMM was founded in 2007.
Yeah.
And my business partner founded it to undertake a very large refit on motor yacht Octopus, which he did under another refit shipyard. But he was the head project manager with the company IMM. And so we've basically grown from there, starting in Europe and then coming over to the Caribbean from about 2010.
Okay, so 2007 it was founded. Well, it's a great story, right? So you have a client, Octopus, and you're like, okay, I need a place, let's build a refit yard around it. Is that like the short story?
Yes, so again, this was done with partners, so my business partner, Fabrice, and then other partners. So at that time it was a shipyard called ITM, International Technic Marine, with the famous Jean-Christophe Lenoir, who's a very kind of legendary figure in the refit and French refit. And yeah, they had an idea for a project of that size. There's no need to be in a traditional facility because they had up to 700 people a day working on board. They needed complete dedication from all subcontractors and all people on site. And so they went to a publicly available dock and they built the refit shipyard essentially for that project.
With 700 people working on a day, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a massive project.
Yeah, it was.
And then over time, obviously it became IMM, when very Korean focused, and then Dockside and FKG were brands that were added in a later stage?
Yes, so we originally basically were doing refit in Europe, specializing really in 60 meters plus. We were working in La Ciotat, we worked in Toulon, we worked in Marseille, and we had an opportunity to basically respond to an RFP in Guadeloupe. And that was in about 2009, 2010. And we just thought it made sense to respond to that RFP because for 3 to 6 months a year, you have a huge convergence of yachts coming from both the Med and the US and basing themselves in the Caribbean, and there were very few technical resources. So in some ways, our whole business model and our philosophy of growth has been about trying to provide clients solutions where they are. And I feel that we have an obligation to do that in this industry, that we should be finding ways to deliver services where the clients are and where they want to be. So we started in Guadeloupe in about 2010, as I said, very slow development. But slow and steady.
Yeah.
And at some point, we realized that it was also very difficult to grow in a location where there are no yachts. So basically,
that was going to be my next question. Yeah. How did you get yachts there?
So basically, when a yacht was coming to our facility, we were bringing them to that geographical location only for us.
Yeah, because it's not a yacht hub.
No, exactly. So as a result of our presence and the logistics capabilities there, we did start to have some yachts. Okay. Then they would come and they would see, wow, my owner would love this. Mm-hmm. And we did see actually some cruising, et cetera.
Okay, that's interesting.
But it made our job so much harder.
Yeah.
And we said, well, wait, let's try to do this the easy way. Yeah. Let's go to St. Martin. As we all know, St. Martin is a hub.
It's a hub.
And so we thought, let's go to where the boats are and make this easy. So that was in about 2016 that we started with a commercial presence, essentially in the Old de Sol Marina. Quickly met my third partner, so Christopher Marshall, and had an opportunity to purchase FKG. that took about a year, and so that was finalized in 2017.
Yeah.
Right before the Hurricane Irma.
Oh gosh, yeah, of course. That's also in 2000.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah. And so then we bought FKG. Following Hurricane Irma, of course, I mean, I don't know that everyone remembers, but St. Martin had significant destruction.
Well, it was horrendous. I mean, I was there shortly after. It was bad.
It was bad. And so essentially that happened in September of 2017. Our season, the 2017 to 2018 season, was basically non-existent.
Yeah.
There was almost no land-based facilities. The marinas could accommodate yachts, and frankly, it's one of the reasons that I continue to respect and love yachting, because many yachts came back. And that season they came back actually to support St. Martin.
Yeah.
So it was more for us than them, in fact, in that year. But because there was no season, the then owner of Dockside Management, Lila Rose, was trying to decide what to do. She was nearing retirement. Basically, her retirement was the company. And so having no income for a season was daunting. And we were friends, and she started talking about potentially closing. Like, Dockside has been around for 25
because
years.
were they already that big and well known at that time?
Dockside Management was very well respected.
Yeah.
And it was the first yacht agency really in the Caribbean.
That's what I mean, because that's what they're known for.
Exactly. And so it was known and well respected. It has grown a lot since we purchased it, but I think it was already very well respected as an agency. And so I said, you can't do that. She said, well, do you want to buy it? And I said, sure, why not? I'm only running to other companies, so why wouldn't I? I don't think I really realized what I was getting myself into.
No, because yacht agency is a completely different ballgame.
So our whole philosophy and what we do is provide service, right? So if you're providing technical service, there is a real service component to that anyway. So I knew and understood what it means to provide service to yachts, but I think I did not realize how involved I was going to be in the daily operation and running of the company. I didn't understand that. I love it, actually. And I'm working my way a little bit out of that, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Because let's go to you a little bit.
Yeah.
You do not have a yachting background.
No. Well, I grew up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, so I grew up on the water.
Okay, good. There was more than nearby.
Exactly.
But
I shouldn't say this, but I never really liked the ocean. I was always really scared of the ocean. Anyway.
Okay.
But no, not a yachting background at all. I mean, my family doesn't sail. My mom gets seasick. Like, no boating at all.
So what is your background?
So I went to undergraduate school and ended up majoring in social work.
Yeah.
So I actually then went to work in psychiatric facilities for youth.
Okay.
Very briefly. It was too difficult. I mean, I loved the kids, but the system was too difficult for me. And decided to go to law school. I'd always wanted to be a lawyer, frankly. And so I went to law school. So I was taking some time off. I was living in Georgia. I had applied to the University of Georgia, which is a good school, got in a full ride, a scholarship, super excited. And I was speaking to a friend one day, and he was like, well, why aren't you applying anywhere else? I was like, oh, I'll never get in, like these top tier schools. He's like, what do you have to lose? You know, it's $150, you know. So I was like, sure. So I applied to a bunch of the top schools and ended up getting into Harvard Law School.
And I would never end up being a Harvard lawyer.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes. And so I went to law school at Harvard, which was definitely a phenomenal experience. I really loved it. I loved law school. I then went to clerk for a judge, a federal judge, who sadly recently passed away. In Rhode Island, and from there I took a job at a large law firm in Washington, D.C.
And at once you end up in Guadeloupe and St. Martin.
Yeah, so that is a little bit of chance, luck, fate, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So I was practicing law and I loved it, and I was a good lawyer. I had a great career from day one, doing really interesting stuff. And I got to be on this great case where we were, it really is amazing because how my life has come full circle, but this great case, we were representing the former governor, at that time, the former governor of Puerto Rico,
yes,
against the United States government. So I had one of the partners in my firm was a pretty high profile white collar criminal lawyer and had taken this case. And so I got to be on the case. It was an amazing experience. I got to actually, be in trial court, like as a trial lawyer, like
really?
Asking questions. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And I had one part of the case, which is was a tax count. Anyway, it's not that interesting, but a tax count. But basically, the government had really done a bad job with this claim, and we obliterated the government, and it was really cool. That was my part. And you know how it's a jury trial, so when a jury sees that the government has overreached in one place, so he ended up getting, he was free. No.
So you got, was it like a proper jury verdict?
Yeah,
jury comes in.
Exactly. So
that's cool.
And during this trial, me and a few friends, my colleagues, we were there working till 11:30 midnight every night, and we would try to get to the bar, which closed at midnight, just before midnight, and have one glass of wine.
Yeah.
And it was Friday night at this hotel bar doing our Friday night thing, our glass of wine, and this Frenchman walks up to me. He'd had more than a glass of wine. And said, "Can I sit down?" And that is Fabrice. And so literally that is how we met in San Juan, Puerto Rico, 16 years ago. And essentially it was really love at first sight almost. So so my professional story and personal story are very connected. We're still together today.
So you win this amazing case in Puerto Rico.
Well, I hadn't won it yet.
Oh, you hadn't won it yet?
Yeah.
But you're doing
We're in the middle of the trial.
Middle of the trial.
Yeah.
You're living the life.
Yeah.
And then you meet this random French guy in a bar who's the love of your life.
Yes. And at the same time, my father had passed away just 1 month prior. So I would say that it was just a big moment in my life. At this trial, talking to the partners, and I just realized, I kept thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be a partner in 2 years and it's going to get easier. I work a lot now. I probably work more now, frankly, but I worked a lot then. And I just realized it was I was never going to get out of it. My father passing. And so I actually decided to take a 1-year sabbatical. So I took a 1-year sabbatical to be with Fabrice. He was a sailor. We went to a small boat.
For people who do not know Fabrice Lemaitre, look him up. He's really well known, but he's also a character.
Yes.
Can I say that when we're always together in Monaco, and obviously they live in St. Martin, so he comes up in Monaco, he's got this classic Rolls Royce that he then drives into the park. It's Fabrice.
Yeah. That's Fabrice, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, very, very good at what he does.
Yes, he is.
I'm his partner, and it's funny because I didn't really know that when we started the business, right?
Yeah.
I had no exposure to this. I've never done yachting, but I've now worked with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he is very, very, very good, and it's what has created in large part our success. But anyway, so getting back, that was it. And so I took a sabbatical. The famous Jean-Christophe Lenoir that I just mentioned said to Fabrice, "You guys should come to the Monaco Yacht Show." So Fabrice and I did these horrible, I wish I could show you, on these awful, almost homemade business cards. We didn't have our current logo or anything, and went to Monaco. And Fabrice had just recently finished this Octopus project. And we went to see the management companies, and every management company wanted to talk to Fabrice because it was a real accomplishment what he had done. And he delivered on time, on budget. It was known in the industry.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to do something with this. And so that was how our story started, literally from there. I never really went back to the firm. And here we are. That must have been 2009, probably. And so here I am, all of these years later.
I mean, this is such a good story.
Yeah. Fabrice is probably would kill me for saying it.
I mean, I've known Norina for how many years?
Oh, I don't know, 10.
10?
Yeah.
But I didn't know, I knew a bit of the story. I knew
Yeah.
you were a Harvard lawyer,
Yeah.
and I knew that obviously you and Fabrice are partners in life and in love.
Yeah.
And but I didn't know this story.
Yeah.
Oh no, we definitely got to keep this one. This is like, this is going out. Just prepare Fabrice. And Fabrice, we love you a lot, but we cannot not share this story.
I think it's fine because the most beautiful thing to me,
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, when you look back and you see where your life has gone, it's just so clear that like you've done something right, you've made the right decisions, maybe treated people well, tried to do good and be good. And today, as you know, you guys know, our life has brought us back to Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And so it's just, honestly, it's pretty unbelievable that we have this opportunity to develop this facility in San Juan where we met. Just all of these years later, it's really full circle. And even my personal journey, you know, I ended up going to work in France with them in France. I didn't speak French.
Yeah.
I speak French now, you know, not perfectly, but I'm rather fluent. You know, so then from there, and then to Guadeloupe, where people don't speak English at all.
Yeah.
Then to St. Martin, where all of a sudden the fact it's French and Dutch, but English really is kind of the primary language. But all of a sudden, you know, speaking French was a complete necessity. Now in St. Martin, it was actually appreciated.
Yeah.
So, oh wow, you speak French. You know, so it's just everything about my path in yachting has just felt like it's building to something. It's come, you know, it's going in a direction.
Are you moving
sense.
towards that? I don't, for the lack of a better word, legacy.
So, you know, I don't
Kind
really,
of, right?
I don't think about that.
No, but I'm asking.
Yeah.
You're not implying, but I'm asking.
I don't, honestly, I can't even answer that because I don't think like that. It's crazy, in fact, because if I'm to ask myself what motivates me,
Yeah.
honestly, I love what I do. I believe in it. And that might sound crazy because it's just yachting, it's just business. But in fact, it's about service. And okay, serving the crew, serving the vessel.
You just love people.
Yeah, and it's fun to develop in this way, to maintain an independent boutique spirit, and to see how we can grow, but grow in a way that is perfectly aligned with our values. So, you know, we're very careful about who we hire and how we do things, and so that's just, I love that.
I think that's a perfect ending. Thank you so much. It was such a good story. I loved it. So guys, this was, I mean, it's a bit of a sit, I believe, but like, it is such a good story. Thank you for sharing, Norina.
You're welcome.
Bye guys, see you soon.